Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds, and I'm hanging out with the crew today. We have Nate the Nerdarch in the house, and Nerdarchist Ted, as well as the newly appointed and dubbed Nerdator Doug.
Nerdator in chief.
Nerdator in chief. Sorry, I thought it was Chef. Nerdator in Chef. So today we're just hanging out, taking your questions, and just talking about D&D and nerdy stuff. So apparently, I was just looking at a thing that says Matt Mercer is running a D&D Twitch thing. I was just telling these guys about it in New York on the 18th, which is really close to us, except for we're supposed to be at PAX Unplugged that day. So that would be tricky.
That would, yeah.
Changed. We'll have to see. I have to look at the when he's actually supposed to be running his thing. So what's up, people? Any of you guys going to be hitting PAX Unplugged this year? It's the first one. You only get to go to the first one once.
Indeed, and let us know. We're going to be at the Open Legend booth, so you'll be able to come hang out with us, talk some nerdy stuff.
Oh, we got some Brick, New Jersey in the house, man. You're not too far from us. I actually have done a lot of work in Brick when I was doing highway work. they're impromptuing doing a roll call, sort of. All it takes is one person.
So we have a Jacob Stokes who says this thumbnail is both immaculate and inspiring.
I like it.
I agree. It's a beautiful thing.
Instead of live chat, I should have put like Nerdarchy's Ted challenges you or something.
Am I challenging somebody to something?
Ted's like, thumbnail, what thumbnall?
You've got a sword in the picture, so automatically anybody with a sword is welcome to challenge Ted to a duel.
As long as you're not, Go ahead, Dave.
I said, it looks like a very challenging pose. It's just like he's beckoning you guys to come at him.
Come at me, bro.
So what's up, peoples? Did anybody play any games this weekend? This weekend was quiet for me.
Well, I had the game Friday night, which had all kinds of technical difficulties.
And Ted broke the interwebs.
And I had
I think the interwebs broke me.
Interesting ending to that.
Yeah, I would say so. Did not go as originally planned.
Does it ever though?
Uncle Peter, Medieval Ted is medieval.
I'm guessing you're using the, me with my sword in front of the Nerdarchy banner.
You guessed it.
And as opposed to being able to get stuff done, I went to a kid's birthday party yesterday and got roped into running yet another game this month.
For kids?
1 adult and 3 kids.
Oh, that's cool. So you're getting stuff done, man. Making connections, family stuff.
So my son will actually get his first D&D experience on Thursday.
Oh, that's awesome.
Score.
And I played my third episode of The Hold of the Moordanes, which is my pay-to-play game. It's going really well. The guys are liking it. So I played that this Saturday.
How did that go?
Oh, good, except I went over to 11 like I always do. I always seem to go over. And
you over-delivered.
Well, it started, I accidentally deleted part of the second episode, so it started with us being like, oh, sorry, guys, but I lost some of our stuff. And it was nice, like an hour worth of RP things, so we just kind of just went through it really quick for 10 minutes and kind of attached that to the second episode instead. So it chopped it up a little bit, but... So I started bummed out, but the players are fine.
Sorry, Mormon dude. His Pathfinder game got canceled yesterday. Jacob Stokes, I do have a question. You guys have videos on it. How do you all prefer to start campaigns or even just sessions, first sessions? Do we do any videos on that?
Probably.
Maybe
multiple ones.
We need Mike Gould to tell us. He's like 17 times you've done that video.
we like to start off with a session 0.
Not always. We didn't always do that, but yeah, nowadays we do try and get session 0 in.
Well, that's how I prefer. Okay, he says prefer to start, and I absolutely prefer to start a campaign with a session 0.
Yeah.
And if it's just a one shot, I like to know what characters are actually going to be playing in it, so I can kind of customize it a little bit.
Do you have any preferred ways that you actually start the game though, like
Starting like
or in a tavern? Or...
Okay, so assuming session 0 is started, I mean, well, there's the classic tavern, but normally I would start it off with something that's going to be linked to the like main story arc that I'm going to run for at least the next 5 or 6 sessions. I want to at least put something out there. They might not know anything how it's connected, but I start with putting something out there that's relevant. And then I might fill it up with like, oh, you want to go to the blacksmith shop, and any little tiny things they want to explore the area with, and then kind of draw them back. If it's like a long enough session, I'd like to draw them back towards the concept by having another encounter that's kind of linked to the main arc.
Explosions. I think all games should start with explosions.
I like that.
We did a video that we recorded this weekend, so it should be going up sometime this week, where we did a video talking about the consequences of not doing a session 0.
Huh. I wonder. I can't even check. I'm like, I wonder if that video is going up this week. We definitely had some videos that we had to get out this week, so I don't know if that one made the cut or not, or if it got pushed to next week. Although the chances are pretty good that it did go out this week because the bank is low.
Right. Well, we had a couple issues with some of the videos that we had recorded previously. 2 of them just can't use. So the bank of 6, I think, is down to a bank of 4.
Yeah, something like that.
And,
3. It's all the part of the life of being a YouTuber.
And then, with us having...
Nate W. throws panties. Bob, 20 do.
He's the Tom Jones of YouTube.
Yeah. we throw our panties at Nate all the time, so it's not that bad.
Bob 2000, I appreciate your feelings, but I can't reciprocate with my own panties, so
to wear them.
Oh my god! I just got the mental image of Nate's underwear flying through the air. I need to that's my
That's in your.
I was just thinking, man, that's a lot of underwear.
Yeah.
What is happening to this chat?
Like, why did someone just throw a tablecloth?
Oh my god!
Dude.
Hey, my butt is not that big.
Nate's a big dude.
Now he's throwing shade now.
Yeah. It's getting so. I better turn off the lights to show how appropriate it is.
Well, we do have the unit of measure in FPN. So.
Oh yeah. Fetal position Nates.
Yeah, that is true. So, guys, if you got any questions you want to ask about us personally, about gaming, about YouTube, I know some people have messaged us about you doing the YouTube stuff as well. We can field some of those. Also, our Xanathar guide to everything flip through is out. I know some of you guys have already commented on it, and also the entry for the contest is over there as well. So in the description, so you can check that out. And we don't talk very much in that video. It's more just showing the cool artwork and whatever you can glimpse. I'm just picturing people like pausing and trying to read.
I did that. I was like, ooh, what do these spells do? There was a question from Ed Does Everything. He says, how long of sessions do y'all like running?
It depends. I'll go first and I'll kick it to you guys. So if I am running an online session, I like 2 hours. If we're playing in person, it's as long as everyone's still into it and going. So I think our in-person sessions nowadays range from 3 to 5 hours.
Sometimes
I interpreted that question differently. I think I thought you were talking about how long does the campaign go? That's how
I read it the first
time. But then when Doug read it, I said, "Oh, yeah, hours, yes." Mm-hmm.
Yeah, online 2 to 3 hours, and after that, I it's like I want to get up, I want to stretch, I want to move. I don't want to be confined to the chair for longer than that. When I'm actually playing the game in house with a bunch of people, 4 to 6 hours I think is a pretty good stay, because you can easily do bathroom breaks, you can have food breaks, you get far more socialization involved. Because some of these people you might see, but once a month, or if you're gaming every week, then you might only see them once a week and not talk thereafter. So you're always, you feel a closer connection to the people that are local, and there's going to be that camaraderie and sharing, and like, all right, let's find out what's going on in your life before you actually get down to the serious business of role playing and chucking dice.
How about you, Doug?
Same, like online's like 2 to 3 hours is good for me, but yeah, in person it's probably closer to like 4 to 6 hours. That's what my group usually does. But like Ted said, it's like they're socializing and you don't see these people all the time. So it's probably 4 hours of actual gaming going on.
Because if they're on the internet, they're not real people, so you don't have to worry about that.
They're just
when I close the camera, you don't exexist anymore.
Yeah, so for me, I would say. Sorry, Doug.
You do exist. No, go ahead. Sorry.
So for me, if it's live, I want to do like a max of 3 hours, but it ends up going 3.5 for me. But if it's
3.5, 4.5.
If it's offline and record it, I'm totally cool with doing longer because you can just take breaks. I mean, I'm sorry. If it's over the internet, but it is recorded, like my Hold in the Mordain campaign that I'm doing, I really like it because we can just say, all right, I'm stopping this section. It's going to be its own file. And then let's take a 5-minute like food, snack, whatever break, come back and do another segment. And we might do 2 or 3 segments based on, how long it's going and when the breaks, when it's appropriate to take breaks. So I can go for 3 to 5 hours based on, how that gets broken up. But I don't know, we used to play for a stupid long time, like 8 hours sometimes when we were in person.
We've done like 12-hour sessions.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you don't have anything else to do.
I feel like I remember ordering food twice. And that's when it's long, when you got to order multiple pizzas and stuff over a series of time.
Well, actually, Doug, we were legally adults. Some of us may or may not have been married, owning their own homes.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, still Saturday game was important.
Mm-hmm.
Play until 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. But the sun comes up, whatever.
Oh yeah.
But not recently.
Now that I think about it, we would get together 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then there's definitely been times that we played till like sun up, like 6 in the morning.
And that
was a long time ago, but yeah.
That worked for me when I was 18 and 19.
And not so much now. Now we're all freaking old and falling apart.
Well, play styles have changed too in a bit. Like, years and years ago, it's like people would do like dungeon crawls where it's like you're just going 10 feet at a time, searching for traps, and the gameplay took a lot longer. Today, it's like a lot faster, just the way people play. So that might have something to do with it. Like if you played for 8 hours now, you'd probably get a lot more done than if you're just like crawling through, Undermountain or whatever.
Well, I also think that, beyond the system evolving, we ourselves evolved as players. So like we can do better role playing and seek out more role playing. Whereas like back in the day, there was probably significantly more combat in our sessions. So it's like, okay, well, if you're gonna go do a dungeon, you might have a session that's 8 to 15 encounters or battles, where now our typical things, like if we have four combats in a night, it's like, dude, what the hell? That's a lot. So it's just a very different play style than what we used to do.
Absolutely.
Uncle Peter wants to know, are you growing a Nerdarchy beard, Doug?
I've had a beard, man.
Well, did you have a goatee at one point?
Oh yeah, I've been clean. I'm a shapeshifter, man.
That's what I thought. Then I'd think about it. And you're like,
he doesn't take long to grow an epic full beard there.
No, it doesn't take long. I think the last time I had a beard, I went to trim it and it had the wrong setting, so I was like, nope, that's not gonna work.
The Jinger GM says it's not a beard, it's a sculpture.
Yeah. I've actually taken. I don't actually trim my beard anymore. I go to the barber and let them do it.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah. Then if it gets messed up, I got someone to scream at.
Yeah.
And lots of sharp pencils at hand.
You're breaking stuff, throwing stuff. I can't believe you messed my beard. You know how long it took to get this epic.
Go to flip over the chair, I realize it's folded down. I just look stupid.
Pull out your bag.
Not the last time before that, he nicked my ear and knocked like $5 off. I was like, oh, I got to remember to move. Save $5. It's a little scar tissue amongst friends. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but Kyle S is in the chat.
I did notice.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's back. He's alive.
Hey, Kyle.
I wonder if this is early for him or if it's a day off because of Jinkergy. I'm sorry, I got distracted by the chat. Dave freaking out at supercuts would be sick.
Be a good viral YouTube video.
Yeah, we have that videos of us like freaking out at different places. So I was wondering if how's the job going, Kyle? Has your soul been thoroughly crushed yet? That second shift and third shift sucks. I think Doug knows a little bit about that.
Yeah, but I work at home, so I can do nerdy stuff while I'm working. Unless any of my coworkers are watching right now, then I'm totally focused on my job.
Focused on work the whole time.
Absolutely.
But
So he says he has work at 1 a.m. You tell him if that's early.
Oh,
that's like
I've been there. I've been there. I despise it. I did it for 2 months, and it was probably the worst 2 months of my life.
1 a.m. is a really weird time to go in.
yeah. I think roofing was the worst job I ever had.
Roofing sucks.
What was it?
Yeah.
I did roofing for a week. I didn't think it was that bad.
But you only did it for a week.
I
did it for a week too, and then I was like, F this, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I don't think I had a choice. I was taking, whatever kind of work I could get.
Yep.
I mean, it was July, August heat. So I mean, it wasn't like I'm sitting pretty and it's the nice spring weather.
Yeah.
It was grueling work, but I mean, I was learning something, and I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad. Now maybe the second,
question.
third, fourth, fifth week might be worse. I don't know.
Here's a question.
Carl Maxim wants to know what our favorite archetypes are in Xanathar's guide.
Shadow Sorcerer.
I've only really read the Barbarians, to be honest with you. I've read the Barbarians and I read the War Wizard so far.
Truth be told, I skipped over the classes for now. I was reading the other stuff. I have not read anything beyond Path of the Ancestral Guardian. That sounds cool.
Well,
I'll read that one.
So it kind of makes sense, though, if you think about it, because you're more likely to DM and run and use the material for the DMs than you are to use the stuff for the players. Because if you're already in a game, you already have you already have your character, so you're not likely to be using the new stuff.
Yeah, and I've already got slated the next long-term character that I'm going to play in 5e. So, I don't even need to be thinking about what's next, and I don't have any one-shots that I'm preparing for. They'd be like, oh, let me try this or let me try that. But I am looking at I'm looking to run 7 to 9 sessions this month. So yeah, I clearly DM more.
That actually makes me have a question for you guys. So, I know your long-term campaigns are nearing the end. Are you going to jump right into another thing? Do you have anything planned or any differences in how you're going to run them? You started these right when 5e was pretty new, so
it's going to be months before I'm finished. So I think my guys, did you guys just get 15th?
Yeah, we just got 15th level. So
I look at that as I've got another year left on this game.
I don't need to have another year.
I don't think planning out the next thing I need to start yet. I mean, and I didn't even plan this as the, this is going to be a 5-year campaign.
Yeah.
I just was like, oh, okay.
But we need someone to run something.
Yes, Kyle, the damned unicorn has been found. And, if everything goes according to plan, it will die Saturday.
Bum, bum.
Dun, dun, dun. So let's see.
How about you, Dave, for campaigning?
Yeah, well, it's like Ted said, like it's that game. Like I guess I level you guys every 2 levels or so. So that's 5-6 levels. That's 10 months. So it's going to be a while. So I haven't thought about it yet.
All right.
I don't know if we're going to run games with the same players. If we're going to put together new groups for new games and what we're going to do. Like I think a new game would be a great time to experiment with different camera angles and multiple cameras and stuff like that. Like if we could run OBS or something, and we could do we could definitely do something with that. Maybe even or even if we did just different angles where we had a switcher, or like kind of like they did with Think Geek, and had someone switch camera angles back and forth. That would be cool. Or we'll do the boxes, one or the other. So who knows? Who knows what we'll do for the next one?
So wait, you're talking about for an in-person game having kind of multiple cameras?
Yeah. You can use, we could use a program like OBS. Webcams are fairly cheap, so we could use a couple of those. We did experiment with, using our camera we're shooting our videos with now for filming games. Let's see how that works out, because one of the things I noticed about the games that we did do with that is the files seem really small in comparison to the other files we run. Now, I don't know if it's because the video gets compressed by running it through that program. Now I'm probably boring the fuck out of everybody.
Yeah, Dave, that sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, read these stereo instructions.
Let's talk about the rules of baseball or something.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that's a great time for us to experiment with some new things as far as filming and making the games a little more interesting for you guys to watch. That's the direction I would like to move into with it, for sure.
So has your gaming and play styles changed just since you started Nerdarchy?
Yes.
Tons.
Oh yeah.
Not only do we continue to play and learn, but as you meet more and more players and GMs, you're always going to find things that you like from their style and say, oh, well, how can I incorporate that? Or if you learn new systems, it's like, oh, how can I incorporate that? So if you are serious about RPGs, as we clearly are, then it's a constant growing evolution process. And as you hear things, as you see things, as you do things, you take all the feedback, you take all the constructive criticism, and you say, all right, how can I evolve and move forward? How can I become better?
Also, too, like we're becoming friends with and get exposed with a lot of people that play the game at a higher level. So just by proximity, I feel like it causes you to up your craft and get better at what you're doing. So that's definitely a factor. And, like we've said all along, we really kind of ignored the internet when it came to gaming and before we started Nerdarchy. So, all of our gaming had been contained in this bubble. And once we started Nerdarchy, that bubble burst or expanded and encompassed the world, basically. So we got exposed to a lot of ideas and concepts that we weren't familiar with, or reintroduced to concepts that we were familiar with, but maybe we called them something different or used them in different ways. So it's definitely been a growing phase for all of us. Shalandar breaking our balls. Nerdarchy doesn't care about class. We are classless. I added the last part.
We care. It's just at the moment, it's just not as important to us. Most of those things, if not all of them, are revisions of the stuff that we talked about on the Unearthed Arcana, whereas some of the other stuff that's in the DM's tools and other stuff are things that this is our first exposure to it. So naturally, I don't know about the other guys, but naturally I'm more interested in the stuff that I haven't seen before, rather than like, oh, well, how did they revise this class, or how did they revise that archetype?
Yeah, like for me, like the first thing I went to was the War Wizard because I'm playing one. So I wanted to see. I'm like, oh, I got a little. It's not quite as good as it was in Unearthed Arcana. Yeah, so it's like sad face. In some ways, and then in other ways, like they changed it up and made it. So the one ability they kind of like nerfed it, but you're going to get to use it a lot more in theory if you play the War Wizard the way I guess they think you should be, which is dispelling magic and counterspelling spells, which I agree is a great thing to be able to do, especially if you can have one, especially the Gish Wizard that's not quite as good as the other wizard, just kind of hanging out and shutting down enemy spellcasters.
So the War Wizard is geared towards literal like war. It sounds like.
Yeah,
like you'd be facing off against the other army's War Wizard, basically.
Yeah, like one of their abilities that's kind of cool is they get like a lesser shield.
Okay.
So as a reaction, it'll keep them from casting any spells the next turn, but they can cast cantrips. But it gives them a +2 to armor class and a +2 to their saving throws. So
that's going to stack with the +2 concentration one, or?
I would think so, yeah. As long as you're concentrating. I mean, as long as all the rules are in place. So maybe. I
just realized Nate has the classic banner behind him. Woohoo!
He does, yeah. He's running old school.
Yep.
You have Jinkers asked, what do we prefer? What do you guys use, FG or Roll20? I use Fantasy Grounds with the Saber Dice game. And Doug Davison, who runs Fantasy Grounds over there, is a super cool dude. You also have the Fantasy Ground College over there with tons of resources. And literally, like, I was trying to figure something out on Fantasy Grounds, and I just wanted to pop in there and say, "Hey, is there a place where I can just look at this?" And literally, next thing you know, I'm on a Discord chat with one of the people that run the classes over there. And I wasn't even trying to be, but they're like super helpful. And pretty much at any given time, you can go over there, and someone will give you a hand with whatever it is. They'll walk you through it. They'll basically do it, a one-on-one tutorial for you if that's what they need. So I found that super super helpful and super useful. I'm a fan of Fantasy Grounds.
Mr. Rab's cleaning service has an ironic question, seeing as he has a cleaning service. How do you get orc blood out of your beard?
While I appreciate that question, at the same time, I'm kind of like, man, I might not want to use that cleaning service. I feel like you should know that, right?
You tell us, Mr. Rab's cleaning service.
That's like a bathhouse.
I think you have to cut it with something, some kind of alcohol.
That's a bathhouse service. Getting orc blood out of your beard.
I'm incorrect. It's a +2 bonus to AC against attacks or a +4 bonus to saving throw.
Oh, +4. That's nice.
Yeah, so if you're close on that saving throw, that is a nice use of it. This is not as good as the shield spell, but you don't have to use the spell slot to do it.
Is that times per day, or can just whenever?
You
Press
can
the
do it
dictation.
whenever. The restriction is the following that for the until the end of your next turn, you can't cast any spells by cantrips.
Okay. So it's basically sacrificing next turn's spellcasting ability for protection this turn.
Yeah, but I mean, you still have your action. You can do everything but cast a full, spell 1 through 9th level. And like under all the classes, they got these cool sections where, like, I'm looking at the wizard right now. It's spell books and has different spell books. Ambition, there's different things for that. And eccentricity. So there's a lot of like fluff stuff in there for each of the classes. I believe that one lazy guy had a question. He wants to know if we would consider doing a playlist for Mutants and Masterminds, how to make characters, how to play, how to GM, so on and so forth. We considered it. I think the biggest thing with that is because we haven't played it in a while, we would want to brush up before delving into that. But me and Ted are definitely big fans of.
Yeah, the trick with Mutants and Masterminds is really the fact that you have to, as the GM, you really have to do like a session 0 and tell people the kind of game that you're going to run, whether you're trying to run a superheroes games, a street level game, a fantasy or like kind of hero game, it's very different because there's certain powers that you have within that game that if you take that, it totally breaks the mechanics of what you're trying to run. Like because you're dealing with a game that is designed primarily as a supers game. It's like, oh well, I've got this power, so like flight. So many people will complain about flying as a problem for players to have 100% access to it right in the beginning of the game. Well, that can be an issue. Or if you go with super speed, it breaks the course of the game of like, oh well, we need to get a message over there. All right, I'll do it. I'm back. Like that breaks a fantasy game.
Literally, your super speedster would take longer. It would take him longer to tell you that I'll do it than to go over there and do it if you like max out that power.
Yeah.
But that again, that's the trope. That's the kind of games. Tactical combat useless.
Yeah, because you have so much more space that you can do stuff, and if you're incorporating things that fly, I mean, you have that in typical D&D as well, but it's not necessarily as often. If you have buildings that you have to worry about, are you going to build buildings and high rises that you're going to put on your mat? That takes a lot of time to get into, so it's far more theater of the mind in that style of game.
Yeah, I would think you have to have kind of like speed limits on games like that. Like, okay, you can fly this fast, you can run this fast, you can teleport this far, and everything else is fair game. Kind of like
it's kind of built into the rules, though. It's like, what kind of game are you playing?
Yeah,
like the power level caps it. So we get some other questions going on in here, like if they're not playing or not familiar with the system. It's a good game. Check it out. So, Jacob Stokes, how often do you guys find you run into scheduling issues and have to cancel planned meetings? We run into schedule issues pretty much every month. And I think the rule of thumb is when I was running the larger table, it's like if I can get like 4 people to the table, 3 people to the table, we just play anyway.
Yeah, as long as you can get a big enough chunk of the players, you modify what you have prepared and you go, or you don't prepare until you know how many people are actually going to be there.
Side quest time. Well, because otherwise what happens is you just keep postponing and you never play. Like if everyone has to be there. Look, your story is not a novel. It's not going to be an epic movie. No one really gives a fuck. Just get together and throw some funny shaped dice and have fun with your friends. Sure, it would have been better if everyone was there and plot continuity was maintained, but sometimes you just got to say screw it and throw some funny shaped dice with your friends and make it happen.
Yeah, I started doing that after having scheduling problems ourselves, and then we were like, we ended and this guy couldn't make it, so we don't want to play that. Now we're just like, whatever, we're just hand wave. It's like you were there or you're there now.
I remember
back in go ahead, Dave.
I remember when we had gotten a comment on a video and someone was like, me and my friends create effing art. And I got like, oh my God, if my eyes rolled any harder when I read that comment, they're like going out of my head. Like, come on, man. It's a freaking game.
Back in the day, I mean, we would have, sometimes severe penalties on, player characters. If you didn't wind up showing up, you weren't getting a share of the treasure, you weren't getting XP, and it created more work on the DM to come up with, well, where is your character? How are we doing? And then we always were running games where there was no home base. You constantly traveled, and no one wanted to run someone else's character for them. It was just too much work. So we've had all kinds of horrific stories, including this dude didn't show up, so the DM hung his character. Like we woke up, from setting camp, and the dude's character was was dead, hanging from a tree.
Ooh.
Like, that's harsh.
Yeah.
You know, nowadays, like there's times where a character doesn't show up, and you know, I don't even give a reason like that they're not there. Like sometimes players will come up with, oh, well, this is what my character's doing, or other characters at the table will be like, oh, hey, not here. Can you go deliver this message to so and so? It's urgent.
The best one was in my game. Like I do usually try and come up with something, but the best one in my game was when Anthony's character was there and Nicole's character, Anthony was there and Nicole couldn't make it. She had another engagement, so Anthony's like, yeah, Nicole's character just rides, gets high, jumps on Rip Nugget, her giant spider mount, and rides away screaming, "I'm covered in spiders." So that was one of my favorites. Have fun with it. So
of course, you also went and got me kidnapped as well.
Yeah, I do that often. Like if you do not show up to my game, there's a good chance that your character will get kidnapped. Most likely, but for the most part, I never really do anything bad to the characters.
Hey, that's actually still the best. You know, the reward I got for not being there is still the greatest thing to happen to Reliant. So,
well, it was a fun plot thing, story thing, and I thought you would dig it. So, and I think I asked you if it was okay.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting the reward that I got. Like, you know, for the fat guy that likes to eat and read, getting an extra 4 hours to do so every day, he digs it.
Underwood Sketches. Hey, how many of you guys started off DMing because nobody else wanted to? Because I'm kind of bad at speaking, but it happened to me. I think that's how I started DMing, is because I just really wanted to play and there was no DMs. So I mean, I was lucky enough to have a couple of people that had run games for me before and been really good. But that being said, when we first started gaming as a group, and it was Ted and Nate, and there was this guy Steve we mentioned from time to time, and Ryan. I think that was the core of the group that we started. At that point, I had very little experience DMing.
But you and Steve ran repeatedly down and said, enough of this shite. One of you guys is gonna run. I want to play. And you kind of made us take a turn at the table, and here we are 15 years later.
Dude, Poison's back.
Hey,
I just mentioned him the other day.
Yeah.
I was
Poison in a while. He cried a little bit. Yeah, so I think that's pretty common that so there's always that guy that starts or that girl that starts because they want to really play, and no one else is willing to run the game, because unfortunately there is always way more players than there are GMs.
Well, by that same token, people that nowadays say I want to play, but I can't find anybody running games. Just run it. Just get some friends and say, hey, I'm gonna run D&D. Come on over and we'll play. It's not that hard.
Grow a pair, grab some funny shaped dice, and run it.
I mean, yeah, even experienced people get intimidated, oh man, I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight. It's it's just a game with your friends, man. Just play and see what happens. You'll get better. You're gonna suck at times.
Telephone. So we got tons of questions. Ranger Roy, have you guys considered playing Adventures in Middle-earth? I want to say I haven't. Thanks, Doug. Yeah, and let's jump in the roll call as we start talking about Middle-earth. Now, me and Ted did a pretty extensive review of the Middle-earth Player's Guide, and it's decent, and I like it. But at the end of the day, we just like playing our homebrew stuff. We like the cherry pick stuff. We might steal stuff from those books, but I just can't see us actually running it. And they also focus on areas of the game that are a little different too, like the actual journey, the travel, as a whole game within the game. It seems it's interesting and weird at the same time.
So the Ranger kicks ass.
No, well, yes and no, but there's die rolls and stuff.
Oh, really? Well, yeah, we gotta explore.
But it's a whole journey section. And the thing is, for the journey section, everyone has to have jobs. And like, if you kind of don't have certain people doing certain jobs, you're kind of boned. So your journey is going to be bad, and then there's going to be bad things that happen. You're going to have a bogus journey.
That actually sounds kind of funny, though, to be honest.
Yeah, there's some interesting aspects.
It's the journey, not the destination, man.
But in a way, like the way it's written, it's like the journey kind of happens. Like my take of it was like the journey kind of happens. You make some die rolls and determine like how it went.
Oh, you don't. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, actually, what was that? Really Unearthed Arcana, right?
No, it was in Middle-earth.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't it a Unearthed Arcana thing though?
No. It's actual product from Cubicle 7, maybe.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's on the Oh, yeah, there. Ted's got it.
I want to say Cubicle 7 is accurate.
I like the setting of Middle-earth, but I would probably just run it in 5e. So
that is 5. It is 5e, but it's like an adaptation. So like magic is less magic-y.
Yeah,
I'm not too keen on magic is less magic-y.
Well, then, it's like magic, but not magic.
Then you can't really do Middle-earth. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Gandalf was literally busting out like a pyrotechnic spell.
He was a fighter with the magic initiate feat.
That might be accurate.
And a whole bunch of knowledge skills. Speaking
of games and different systems, there's so many other games that like I play. I have no idea how to play. We play that Star Trek Adventures every other week. I have like, and they'll start talking about the rules and stuff, and while we're playing live, like I don't know. I just am like, yeah, I want to do this. Just tell me what the rule. I have no clue. Same with Marvel Phaser, but I don't know how that game works. I just play with you guys. Which is
so Shallender's saying how old he is. He's outing himself. He's a little bit older than the rest of us.
Who?
Elfie. I've been DMing since '78.
Wow.
I was 3.
I've been living since '78.
But not you were born in '78. No, you were born in you're only a couple years. What year were you born?
Ted?
Me, 78.
You were born. Yeah. So depending when in ¡78, you may be. But we had a meeting for Save or Die, and that kind of came up. I'm like, Cody, I think I've been DMing for as long as you've been alive, or playing the game for as long as you've been alive, and then longer than Will's been alive because he's like 21.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, I've definitely been gaming longer than that.
It's been a while. Oh yeah, I guess we started a roll call a while back. I completely forgot about it. We got Frigginator in Washington, Niagara Falls in the house with Rich, Ranger Roy is in Missouri. We got Regilio in Utah, Lopez Island, Washington. AJ Kinney, Geek and Undies is in Circleville, Ohio. Kyle is in Jersey, Santa Barbara, California with Sean. Elfbait is in Edmonds, Washington. Poison back in Kuwait. We have Shalador is in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Monroe, Louisiana in the house with Jacob Stokes. We got Grinland in Tampa, Florida. We got Runehammer, the Great Cascades. I'm not sure where that is. Pittsburgh is in the house with Paul. Sue Rainey's joining us from Atlanta today. We got Lincoln in Sweden. We've got Ontario in the house with Uncle Peter. We got Patrick in Sweden. We got Back and Faye with Jinker GM. We've got that's funny. People are trying to teach me how to pronounce things. They're so silly. You're gonna fail that check. We got Ed Does Everything in Dallas. We got Missouri in the house with Underwood Sketches. We have the 19th in Missouri as well. We've got Cookville, Tennessee with Gary. Misanthrope is in Mexico representing. Nice. We've got Lizzle in Oregon. Granite City, Illinois is in the house with John. We've got April in Texas. Leesburg, Florida, The Hollow. We've got Sedalia, Montana in the house with Darth Feek. Albion, New York is in the house with Carl Maxon. I have way too much fun doing roll call, guys. It should be illegal. Stillwater, Oklahoma. is it Elderith? We've got Oregon in the house with Mr. Rob's Cleaning Service. And Henderson, Nevada in the house. Detroit, Michigan in the house. That was Gambit and the Biz Knifer. Oh, man. So there's a lot of you figures in here today. There's like 80 people joining us. So that's pretty awesome.
Wow.
They've come out. That's like the other day when we didn't even put Xanathar's Guide in the title this time.
There was no need.
Yeah, there was no need, and we summoned
Ted. It's all Ted.
It could very well be. They came for the Nerdarchy in chief, maybe.
Yeah, right.
We
So-
want more Doug.
Yeah.
And for anyone joining us late, the flip through of Xanathar's Guide is up and over on the Nerdarchy channel where you're watching this video somewhere. So you guys can go check that out. And also there is the contest for you to win the special edition cover or the regular cover. So we're going to announce the winners for that later in the month, I guess. The Saturday before, I guess, or the Saturday right around when the books actually launch officially for the widespread release. And someone asked
the slightly read versions of those, I should
you have to remember to keep saying that they're going to be slightly loved because we're giving away the books that we're giving to us. So we've been kind of like looking at them and reading them.
It's got Nerdarchy DNA on it, man. It's a special edition.
I may or may not sleep with my book. I'm not at liberty to discuss.
Cuddling up with Silgar and Xanathar.
Yeah. So we are in New Jersey. I know someone had asked. I think it probably got answered a couple of times too. I'm told we have, or I'm told that I have a very thick New Jersey accent. But I don't
New
know.
Jersey has an accent?
That's what they tell me.
Yes, Ted. It includes things like acrost and wooder.
Water, man, it's water. Bit of bing,
Don't forget about the crick. Don't forget about the crick.
And we don't have sprinkles. We have Jimmy's.
Yeah.
There's
There's a lot of
Really?
South. There's a lot of South in South Jersey.
Jimmy's, huh?
Yeah.
You put Jimmy's on your ice cream?
Sprinkles is the sugar stuff that people put on.
Well, you know what? Because of popular culture and stuff, people think the North Jersey, well, basically like outside New York, is the New Jersey accent, and that's just like, that's just for the people who are outside New York that are New Jerseyans.
What do you got? Do you have soda or pop or what do you call that?
Soda.
So pop. What the fuck is pop?
That's what they call it in the Midwest. I actually never liked it. We went on a field trip to, and they called it soda. I was like, I like that. That sounds cooler than sodas or than pops. I just started saying soda.
That's what I call Ted's dad.
Long time ago. Pop. Yeah, I guess because it pops with the carbonation. But yeah, I've always thought that sounded stupid.
Challenger says, so winning the books can allow us to clone our own Nerdarchy crew. Ooh, frightening.
It just might be an amalgamation because our fingerprints are all over it.
Oh,
You
no.
don't know who you're getting. You might get a mix.
That sounds like a cool a clone of all three of you in one person.
I think that'd be scary.
I might, if I run
It's next year's Halloween. Game.
So poison. I call sparkling water soda. Interesting. Guys get weird over in Kuwait.
Oh, Gary.
Gary says, that's really cool. I lived in New Jersey for a good part of my life. Was in Tom Rivers and Red Bank. Score. That's not very far from us.
I've been to Red Bank.
Red Bank, New Jersey?
Yeah, I went to the Quick Stop and Kevin Smith's comic store and all that shit.
Oh, yeah, that stuff's up there. So
There's a good sushi place in Red Bank. I went there. It was good.
the AJ Kenny is saying the Nerdarchy Chimera or Chimera?
Chimera?
Yeah.
Well, that technically says Chimera, not Chimera.
He corrected
Well,
himself.
I know what he meant. So, what are you gents up to this afternoon?
I'm going to get some Nerdarchy website stuff to do, and then including the marvelous file from Professor Bill before our game tonight.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
at
right.
some point in time, I have to begin prepping. I've got 3 sessions between Thursday through Sunday to prepare for.
What?
I'm gonna be.
Which
I'm gonna
other
be
sessions
working
do you have? I know ours.
There's my game is Saturday night. I've got the 40K winner Roger and his selected adventure in Chult that I have to read up on and properly prepare for, and then Teddy and his friends and the one Dad are coming over Thursday afternoon. I'll be running a game for them then.
Oh yeah, that's the one you got roped in. So is that the dad you're always talking D&D stuff with?
Yeah. Yes.
Gotcha, man. He threw out the Nerdarchy snare, and he really.
It wasn't hard. Like, you get somebody who's like, yeah, I play D&D with a bunch of kids, and I never get to play. All right, well, I'm trying to get a game for my kid in, and I just haven't been able to get my other nephews to together and plan something. I'm like, well, everybody's off this week, so maybe if I can schedule something during the week, I give this guy a chance to actually play. I'll get Teddy actually playing the game, which he's eager to do, and we'll see what happens. So I'm excited about it.
Nice. So I guess we got the Marvel superheroes game tonight. That'll be fun. And there's this rumor that there's fan art going around.
Yeah.
So someone put it on our Tumblr. Like, we never do anything with Tumblr. We just kind of send our stuff there. So I'm gonna have to go over there and take a look. There's just too much social media. And then Tuesday, the Scarlet Sisterhood will return. Actually, before coming on here, I was trying to think. I was like, what did I do with them last session? Because we took Halloween off. I'm like, did we do that thing? No, that wasn't it. Eventually, it came to me. That's why I have them do the recaps, so that I know what happened in the previous session. And then
doing it live.
Poison said that doesn't know what we're doing with Starfinder, but wants to know if we could do a live chat with the guys from Cosmic Crit.
Sure, send them our way. No, absolutely. If I can find them, or whatever. Is that the podcast? That sounds familiar for some reason. But we're always open to talking to people doing things. I mean, we're not doing much with Starfinder, but that doesn't really matter. I don't mind talking about it. And then we have season 2, session 1 of Saber Dice coming up Wednesday night, and that will be with Will Jones at the helm. We'll have Jim Davis and Pruitt from WebDM playing. I'll be playing. Cody will be playing. So it should be a lot of fun. And we got the trailers out there for that.
That looks cool.
So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, that's part of what I was doing yesterday, is actually making a character. And then I'm hoping that I'll be able to import it from one campaign into the next. It should be okay.
So we have a war going on in the chat between the lovers of Coke and the lovers of Pepsi. And apparently some of our admins are threatening to ban the other admins.
So is that like a first strike situation?
I think it's hysterical.
It's escalated pretty fast in a few minutes.
I actually prefer I didn't have a preference until they came out with Coke Zero.
Agreed.
Coke Zero is way better than Diet Pepsi. And then before that, Dr. Pepper was better than either of them. And also, I think Sprite was the first one to do Zero as well, which, because neither of those really tasted like a diet soda.
So I don't drink a lot of soda, but I will throw my weight and support onto the Pepsi and Mountain Dew side.
I like cherry Pepsi.
I just drink Grape Crush all the time. Only Grape Crush.
Or cherry. I just like cherry soda.
New
York seltzer.
I just don't actually drink all that much soda.
Well, it's getting pretty fierce. Pepsi is carbonated toilet water. Not my opinion. That's Shellendor.
I like New York
Them's fighting words. Get your D20s out, guys.
It's getting fierce. So someone did ask a serious question that wasn't Coke or Pepsi related, but oh no, I can't find it. Hayadir. I don't know. I can't find it now. He said something about creating. I'm going to paraphrase it. Lore.
Would you
like
ever
lore
consider
videos?
doing lore videos?
Yes. And I know we've done some with our own lore with our campaigns where we're doing like the deities and kind of like the shape of the world and what's going on with it. But I think he means specifically lore videos like, the goddess of magic in X realm or something. Correct us if it's different than my interpretation.
Or like your Wizards of Distinction series over on the
famous
website.
Wizards of Distinction.
I don't know if this is lore. Oh, go ahead.
I need to.
I don't know if it's lore per se, but one of the writers just started a new series. It's sort of lore. It's called Flavor Shots. They're just like short little lore and with a minor mechanical things you can drop into your campaign. I don't know. Might be interested in that. There's a new one on there tip this morning.
Which writer is that?
There's Drew Murray from the UK. He's actually the game master for our Star Trek game on Sundays too.
Oh, nice.
But they're pretty cool. Yeah, I thought they were fun things, and so we'll be parsing those out over the next few weeks too. But it's pretty cool.
How is the Star Trek game going? How do you like the system?
It's pretty good. Like I don't know how to play for the most part. It's like they'll devolve into like, well, no, like when you do something with the ship, you have to roll this and that. It's like I don't know. I just show up to play, but it's interesting. It's very cinematic and like a television show, and there's like scenes. I've barely played my character that I made up. I usually end up playing like other crew members because my guy's just not in the scene. So it's fun. I don't know. I like Star Trek, but I don't know all the lore. When they're like, oh no, the Xanathar attacked in this year. It's like, oh, okay, I don't know when things happen.
Sorry, I'm the same way in our Star Wars game.
It's like I've watched them, but I don't have like encyclopedic memory of all the species and all that.
You mean you don't know all the episodes that include the Borg, even just by mention?
I do not. Yeah, like something that happened yesterday. They're like, oh, this is like blah blah blah. It's like, okay, man, I didn't see that episode.
I have a friend that has watched every incarnation of Star Trek, and multiple times. Like, you're such a nerd.
TOS is the best, man. Captain Kirk, best captain.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
Listen, you see, Kirk is the only stuff that I don't like.
We're going to get into another fight in the chat, just to let you guys know.
It's headed that way.
This is definitely fighting.
Come at me. Kirk's the best. I said it.
So, Carl Maxim asked, do you think Wizards Coast will make a book with new classes like Mystic and Artificer? No, I believe they will be DM Guild's releases, as well as when they officially revise their Ranger, it's supposed to be a DM's Guild revision as well. So we will not be seeing those in books. On the plus side, we will get them for free. And I believe they're going to also they're gonna be part of the Adventure League legal as well. So that'll be cool once they get around to that. Uncle Peter, has Nerdarchy ever considered doing a 24-hour live stream? I don't know. What are we going to talk about for 24 hours? We'd actually just have to play games or something.
Could be a good way to start off our Twitch stuff if we do that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
We'll just stare at the screen for 24 hours.
I definitely couldn't talk for 24 hours, even if it was just
people will pop on and be like,
a quarter
"What's
of the
going
time."
on, guys?" I don't know. They haven't moved in 3 hours because someone will watch.
Well, it'll be talking with the people in the chat, pretty much. What it'll go towards.
You also have to look at the standard dynamics where, like, there are times where the people, will come and go, and as Nate says, they're going to interact with each other. So sometimes they're not even there to consume us. Like,
Ted, that's cannibalism. Nerdarchy does not advocate cannibalism.
Fraginator.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know, some of you guys are talking about the Artificer too. I'll be playing an Artificer coming up soon. But I had to change. Like, I was going to do an Alchemist Artificer, and I'm like, I can't do it. I got to go with the Gunsmith.
Yeah.
Jinker GM wants a 24-hour Coke versus Pepsi debate.
Well, we get shut
I don't
down
think-
immediately for copyright.
I don't think there would. I don't think there'd be a lot of fun on that chat. It's not a nerdy enough topic.
Speaking
Oh,
of
guys,
getting
too, like I don't know if any of you guys have been following our Recovery Dice series, but the Warlock video is up, but for whatever reason it got stuck, and it went live when it was supposed to Friday afternoon, but it never ended up in the uploads for like 2 days later for the actual channel itself. And no one got notifications. Matter of fact, someone commented and go, "Hey, I saw this in my suggested video feed, but I did not get a notification." So if you guys are interested in that series, that book is up there. You can go check it out.
Speaking of annoying things YouTube did, I can't believe they put my Mud Wrestling Fey Lady video on restricted view. What the heck is that?
Yeah, they've been dinging us with a lot of those lately.
That's
You got
ridiculous.
mud wrestling ladies. What do you expect?
Yeah, Mud Wrestling and Lady in the title, and they're like, I'm an algorithm bot, and I say that must be something that's age restricted. I was like, well, no. No,
Yeah,
not
well,
at all.
they do it for things that has nothing in it, so it doesn't really matter. It seems like you are like 75% more likely for that to happen on longer form content.
Yeah, well, I guess they found out that people were just like doing live chats or like long videos and kind of like sticking different things in it to try and get around the title or whatever. But I don't know. It's just kind of I assumed it was just for the title, but I'm like, you need to get to it, and it says they'll review it when it gets to 1,000 views, and even on that our channel for a gameplay, 1,000 views is not a guarantee for a while. So that's kind of irritating.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So
Bastards.
that's my YouTube gripe for the day.
Kyle asks, why do both artificers get those weird pets? It should be a third subclass. I would be okay with that. I mean, definitely, I wouldn't mind having the construct subclass. Maybe they'll make one and like augment that guy.
Yeah, like if they all got it, but then there was a subclass that could do other things with it.
Turn him into a transformer.
Especially if you make a super suit.
That'd be cool.
What,
Didn't you talk about that in the live chat, Nate?
What's that?
I think somebody asked you about making it into like a suit or something. I think a few months ago somebody asked them about that.
Sounds very familiar. I think
You know why it sounds familiar? Because in Starfinder, the mechanic can take your drone and put it on.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah. You
wear
put
it.
it on your drone.
So we are past the hour mark, and we've got things to do, games to play, videos to render and upload. So I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us for this hour. It was cool to have so many people in the chat on a Monday afternoon. Thanks to the rest of the Nerdarchy crew for joining me today, so you don't have to just stare at me. I have to babble at you guys for an hour about nothing. It's much appreciated, and always, guys, until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.